Okay, let's be honest. Cote d'Ivoire was stunning, but her final gown was basic. It did not scream Miss Universe. It did not scream winner. So what happened? Why did she wear that dress? And I believe it cost her the crown. Here's why. She wore this bedazzled, jeweled silver gown for her finale. And for me, it didn't scream Miss Universe. I have seen this gown time and time again for smaller pageants, for state pageants in the US, for starter pageants. This gown doesn't scream, I'm a veteran, I know what I'm doing, I'm a winner, and I am Miss Universe, which is really sad because I believe that her gown, her final gown, should have blown everything else she wore during the competition out of the water. What makes it more confusing is because the dress that she wore for the preliminaries was absolutely stunning. It was unique, it was fun, it was carefully crafted. I loved the jewel that hung by her belly button. It was just so beautiful and so wonderful to look at. The headpiece that she wore on stage also added an extra element, and given the background story of her national costume celebrating the Akan tribe, it felt like her gown complemented that, like they spoke to each other. So, how do you go from a gown like this to something so simple as the silver gown? When you look at the other women that were up there, their gowns gave more drama. Their gowns told more of a story, whereas hers was so simple, maybe too simple, which makes me think maybe that wasn't the dress she was supposed to wear, and perhaps there was some sort of wardrobe malfunction and she had to wear a backup dress. Don't you think? Did her dress scream Miss Universe to you? It didn't for me. And what makes this even more confusing is I felt like she dressed so beautifully throughout the entire competition. Her clothing, her wardrobe was one of a kind. It was elegant, it was regal. It was fit for a Miss Universe. It told a story, it was vibrant, it was fun. So, how do you go from that to a very simple silver dress? I don't know. It makes me think that something went wrong last minute. So, did her gown cost her the crown? Did her gown maybe cost her a few placements? We all know that the competition might have been rigged. So while Miss Cote d'Ivoire may not have won regardless of what she wore, I'm still concerned that it could have impacted her. Maybe she would have been third runner up or second runner up. Maybe if her gown was more breathtaking, if her gown made you gasp the way that beautiful gold gown did on the first night. Even the gown that she wore for the crowning ceremony was more interesting. It told more of a story. It was more regal. Even though that's not something that she would wear on stage for the finale, this felt more like her. So I'm curious, do you also think there was a wardrobe malfunction, or do you think she chose this dress on purpose? Maybe she went simple on purpose so that her beauty and her walk and her answer for the final question could shine. Now, who do you think was best dressed at the pageant? Was it Miss Mexico, Miss Thailand, Miss Philippines? I personally loved Miss Guadalupe's style. I thought she looked stunning. So why don't you leave me a comment down below on who you think was the best dressed at this pageant and why? What did they do right? What did they get wrong? What should they do next time? I want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. I'm so glad that you're here. Talk to you soon. Bye.